Hello! I am celebrating having broadband back. I've had to get creative because I had a video recorded before an ice storm, but I didn't upload it and couldn't upload it until I figured out yesterday that I could put it onto my phone and then upload from my phone because I got phone service yesterday. Now, today I have real broadband and I won't have to do all that dinking, and so I'm celebrating by having another You Are the Reader pick a pile. There are 3 piles to choose from, and what I'm going to do is present cards from 2 oracle decks so that you can see if they apply to your life or not. That's how you'll choose your pile. And then your pile is going to be composed of these tea leaf cards, which are very self-explanatory. Now, there are 200 cards, so shuffling these and going for flyouts was a little bit tricky, but I have an even number for each pile, and my plan is just to kind of arrange them in a way that would make sense in an interpretation, but you should feel free to rearrange them in your mind for your own reading, because after all, you are the reader. So I hope you'll have fun with this, and I won't be on camera after this, but I am so happy to have my life back to normal after all these days of no power, no phone, and no broadband. Talk about weird. All right, see you later. Hello, pile number 1. These are your tea leaf cards. Your oracle cards will be in a separate section after this. So I'm just going to start and go in the order that I laid them out in, but remember, you are not tied to that. You can take what resonates and discard what doesn't. You are in complete control. So your first card is Tree, affairs with your family. And then, as kind of a confirmation, Seahorse, family matters. Scissors, disappointment in some affair. Cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. I could see why if that all has been happening. Dragon, beware of self-delusion. Inkpot, problems to be resolved. Shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. Sounds like a mess here. Cobweb, you are protected from negative forces beyond your control. That's nice reassurance. Psychic ability, trust your intuition. Tulip, great passion. Kind of matches my fingernail polish, doesn't it? I know, random, but that's the way my mind works. Target, a goal-oriented person. Table, there's hard work ahead. Well, great passions don't just magically happen with no work after all. Coins, money will be coming to you. Eagle, triumph over troubles and obstacles. And lastly, four-leaf clover, great good fortune. So, I will be back in a second with your oracle cards. Detox, cleanse and restore yourself. Social media, electronics, mind-altering substances, food, all these things can be toxic and damaging when overindulged. Detox says it is time to cleanse your body and soul. Rest is required now, especially in matters of an overstimulated mind and emotions due to social media and smartphones. Communication in excess is toxic too. It is time to be quiet and consider your authentic self and create space to heal and deal with life up to this point. The girl of detox is lying down on a soft bed of shifting leaves, the carafe of liqueur set aside for now. She has a wonderful life, and her dreams are sweet, even when laced with fear, because she is not afraid of learning her lessons. They float from her subconscious like luscious pearls of bliss, because she knows when to rest and retreat in order to expand within. Detox is also the card of dream interpretation. It is time to pay attention to your dreams. They are not just flushing out your active brain. There are messages and signposts coming through to guide you. A grand symphony. As human beings, we have a tendency to see ourselves as separate from others. This perception is the root of the cosmic joke played on us all. Although our five senses and intellect can help us manage our experiences in the material world, and intuition helps us navigate the invisible, we still struggle with the issue of identity and how we fit into the whole. You're facing a paradox today. You need to focus on being your unique self, for only you can bring your own special harmony to the symphony of the world. But equally, you need to learn to be selfless and put we before me, seeing yourself as part of the consciousness that unifies us all. You're being invited to step back and see the bigger picture until your individual part on the world stage disappears and blends with the glory of all life. It's true that who you are and what you do counts in far-reaching ways. Consider this, though. When you listen to music, it's the whole, not any single note on its own, that makes the song come alive. So today, ask yourself, can you be part of something bigger? Can you put the principles and needs of the group above your own wants? Can you fully embrace the concept of unity in diversity by celebrating all the notes in the symphony? If so, then you will indeed be wise, and whatever you are dreaming about will be fulfilled beyond your wildest hopes. It's time to do your part to sing in harmony with others. Stay in tune and learn the new harmonies and notes. Such sweetness will arise. Hi, Pile 2. Here are your tea leaf cards. Your oracle cards will be following this in a segment separate from this. I have put the cards in a certain order that made sense to me, but that doesn't mean that you are tied to that. Please feel free to take what resonates and discard what doesn't. Rearrange things in your mind however they do make sense to you, because you're in total control of how you interpret this. So I'm just going to start. I want to explain that in this deck there are certain cards that have timing, and there are certain cards that relate to your astral house, and you did get 3 timing cards. The first one is January. Then there is July. I thought I had this glare thing figured out, but no. And then there is October. And you got one card related to your astral house, and it is the house of career. Now here we go. Turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. Flag. Do not be tempted to lower your standards. Gavel. Involvement with the law. Crown. Honor and respect will come to you. Lobster. Financial pinch. Tent. Temporary situation. Money path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. Candle. You will be shown the way. Pin. New job, career. Dolphin. Financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. And lastly, Sun. Happiness and well-being. All right, I will be back with your oracle cards. Ubuntu. Compassion for others. What if you were solely defined by your compassion for others and the kindness you extended? How would your life look? How would you conduct yourself if Ubuntu, humanity, was solely what you were noted for? Consider how your benevolence can extend to other species and creatures. This is a time to empathize with others' journeys and put yourself in their shoes, for better or for worse. The girl pierces her own eye with the leaf, and in doing so opens the window to her soul, and learns from the challenges and the gifts of others' journeys. She is peaceful and reflective. There is no pain, only greater understanding and greater wisdom. Now is the time to notice others' struggles and help them. Listening with compassion and patience can ease the suffering of another person. Be defined by your willingness to put others' needs before your own, just as you would appreciate they might do in your times of need. A merry motive. You've chosen a path, you've set an intention, and you've begun to move toward a goal. You feel compelled to keep going, but do you know the why behind this drive? Do you truly want what you're pursuing, or are you chasing a destination with the anticipation of how it will make others feel about you or you feel about yourself? You must choose to be in the flow of the experience, relishing the moment. Surrender your expectations to a higher power rather than being guided by your limited self. The most important aspect to consider now is where you place your focus, because that's where energy will flow. If you are resentful, the outer world will show you more opportunities to be resentful. If you are envious of others, competitive, and overly ambitious, you will always feel as if you are not enough. If you focus on gratitude and compassion for others, you will see even more reasons to be grateful and loving. When you look for abundance, it has an uncanny way of multiplying in your life. So if you're unsure about your motives, the results will be just as unclear. Dig deep to understand your why. If your true desire is to experience X, let go of your attachment to the form that X is supposed to come in. Make sure your motive is merry and joyful, clear and honest, and aim true. Trust that the universe will provide the outcome that is a perfect match for your intention. It always does. Hello, pile 3 people. These are your tea leaf cards, and I have put them in an order that made sense to me, but please feel free to move things around in your mind that makes sense with your own life. Only take what resonates with you, discard what doesn't. Now, in this deck, there are cards that address timing, which you don't have any of, and there are cards that address astral houses, and you have 2 of those. Now, keep these in mind because some of the cards coming up are going to be worrisome, but these are your cards. Happiness and success. So don't let some of the following cards throw you off, because this is what you've got going on in your astral houses. Rooster, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. Mountain, major challenge to overcome. Teardrop, great personal sorrow. Grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling. Scales, keep your life in balance. I love how there are themes in these. Rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. Teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Vase, or some people say vase, I've always said vase, secret admirer. Dog, far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. Fan, romance, celebration, party. Crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. Stork, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. And lastly, whale, family wishes come true. I just love that. Out of 200 cards, trying to shuffle those, and there are definite themes coming up. So hopefully those made sense to you, and your oracle cards will be coming up in a separate segment. Orenda, honor your mystical creative force. There is a mystical force present in all people that empowers them to affect the world or effect change in their own lives. Orenda appears when it is time to make a sacrifice in order to move into the next creative expression of self. The maiden contemplates her role in creation, the seed, the birth, the nurture, the release, both in her ability to procreate and her choices of expressing her creative force in relationships, music, art, and food. She sits bathed in the light of the distant full moon, her mystical powers reflecting far into the past and far into the future. The sacred snake extends from her woven hair. Her blood is offered to it as a sacrifice. It is the sacred dance of creation to give life and in return have some of her own taken away. Transferred, transformed. This card embodies the ancient goddess as she was depicted in the Garden of Eden as a primordial, omniscient serpent, the bearer of wisdom. If this card is drawn by a woman seeking to start a family, it confers pregnancy and fertility. Orenda relates to all the sacred female cycles, the transitions of maiden to mother to crone, blessing them as divine and equally valuable and beautiful. Broken open. There are situations in life when you see the value of loss, grief, and a broken heart. Yet it's not the pain or loss itself that must be the focus of your attention here. No, not even the story of what happened. The details surrounding what has brought you to your knees is as important as what results from the experience. Can you see that this situation has broken you wide open, enabling you to have an even greater capacity for love, compassion, empathy, and understanding? You cannot be the same person as before. The only way forward is to move through it, without resistance or manipulation, without attempting to bargain with unseen forces, because none of your usual fallbacks can put you back together again. If you do fall prey to self-absorption or self-pity, it will just make it harder to get to the next gradual phase leading to relief. Yet even if you are prolonging the inevitable, you will get there eventually. The gift is in accepting who you've become as a consequence of integrating this difficult experience and allowing yourself to be more than you were. This wisdom comes at a high price, but the value of your experience of moving through and to the other side is unsurpassed. Love the you that is the result of being broken open by life's challenges and lessons.